Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Final Plan, the show where James and I run through our final thoughts pre-FPL deadline, which today is on a Friday. So if you are catching this, then beware. 7 p.m. tonight, 23rd of August. Friday night football, Aston Villa, Everton.
I'm looking forward to that tonight.
Watching
actually.
it?
Oh yeah, it's fucking football on the telly. Of course I'm watching it.
So yeah, we have all of maybe 11 hours, less than that, 10 and a half hours to make our final decisions. So we'll run through our regular teams, the differential team, North v South, all of that stuff. You made your transfers early this week. Why don't you tell everybody what you did, for those that don't know?
For my main team,
Yep.
yeah, Wilson out for Pookie, Fraser out for Martial. I'm keeping faith with the Liverpool trio defensively, so I'll be back five again with Zinchenko, Walker, Tom Heaton in goal tonight. Lucas Moura will almost definitely sell for next week, but I'm keeping for this. I'm happy even if he gets the half hour.
Off the bench.
Yeah, I think he can do damage. Sterling. Who else is in my midfield?
Sterling. Who else is in your midfield?
Yeah, I'm had a fucking mind
You
blank.
used to have Moura, Sterling, and you bought Anthony Martial.
Oh yeah, Anthony Martial, Pookie and Captain Kane up front.
So yours is a 5-3-2.
If Liverpool keep a clean sheet, I think I will have a banging week.
Yes. Well, considering that I have the same three Liverpool defenders as you do and the armband on Kane and Sterling, if Liverpool have a good week, I would have a banging week too. This week, I've only made the one transfer, which was to sell Allaire and bring in Pookie, which was before Allaire had a drop and Pookie had a rise, which I think pretty much... let's have a look. Pookie's ownership now... 21.5%. At the start of the
I told
week,
you
it was
when
10.
we recorded the main pod, I said it'll go over 20% before the weekend.
It got to 12, 21.5%. All of the wild carders
He
surely are
will
steaming in.
almost definitely hit a price rise tonight. Be a different challenge for people this week as well, because
He's at
obviously
6.8, so that would be a 0.3
there are
price
going to
rise
be
in 1 week.
there are going to be a huge amount of transfers in the run up to the 7 p.m. UK deadline today. There are going to be a lot of price changes tonight. It'd be interesting to see if people panic and go early. So, for example, I might take the view if Moura looks like he's going to drop tonight, I might make an early decision on that.
So after the deadline, but before the price rises at midnight, that kind of thing. So that is an interesting kind of nuance of what could happen actually post deadline. Keep your eyes on FPL statistics or Fixer, whoever you use. For price changes.
Next midweek is second round of the League Cup.
Yep.
So all the Premier League teams that are in Europe won't be playing, bar obviously Wolves, who had a great result at Torino last night. That's a stunning result.
Yeah, I really want them to go through.
Yeah, same. But obviously all the other 13 or however many it is Premier League teams will play in midweek, but they're going to be heavily rotated teams.
Yeah, massively.
So I think it's another one where if you know what you want to do, the early transfer is fine.
I didn't make my second free transfer this week. Jose Perez was the one that's on the chopping block. He had a drop in price yesterday. Alan Wilson had a drop in price 2 days ago. Wilson I'm comfortable holding, so if Callum Wilson scores this weekend, you could easily see his price coming back within a couple of weeks. Perez, similar because of the price point that he's at, but I'm not... I feel like sometimes when you don't really have a clear-cut decision on where to go, doing nothing is always better, right? I've still got 1.3 million in the bank, so I'm just kind of keeping my powder dry, and I'll roll it till next week. Jota's doing bits again.
In Europe,
but it's only a matter of time before that translates into the Premier League, so I really want to look at him.
but it's come a bit of a running joke, isn't it, about Jota at the moment?
I think I'm happy to downgrade Wilson at some point to Jota, probably the week after next, which means I'll have a ton of money to replace Perez. Could go up to Pogba or anyone really who's 9 million or less. So I'm going to stick with Perez for this week. Sheffield United away. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on price rises and price falls?
It's volatile at the moment, isn't it?
I really felt like I'm surprised by the number of good players who have solid FPL track records that have dropped in price, like your Ryan Frasers and what have you. I understand they've blanked within 2 weeks, but the amount of wildcards and changes and people chopping and changing their teams and taking hits this early, maybe I'm not remembering it, but I feel like people are a lot more on edge and panicking this season.
I don't know if it's panicking. Like, there's obviously a lot wild carding, and as we said, some very experienced FPL players are wild carding.
Yeah.
My opinion is it's very, very early, but they've all got their reasons. Whether it be, I mean, if your whole team was dropping in price, even from that alone, if you were going to have 10 price drops in a week, for example, wild carding alone, I mean, you're talking potentially there about a split difference of maybe 2 million to your squad value, right?
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing where you go, okay, yeah, it's too early, but actually that might be quite important. I think a lot of it is price driven. For me, there's still a lot of information that we need to gather on people like Heung-min Son, Pepe at Arsenal. So it's not under consideration for me. In my opinion, it would never be under consideration before an international break, unless I was in that situation. I had like 10 players dropping in price or something.
Yeah.
And then from just a value point of view, actually it's worth doing.
Yeah. I cast my mind back to the first episode of the 30 and 30 that we did in the summer with Paul, Sky player and FPL. And he said he didn't care about value. If a player dropped in value and he couldn't afford him, he just went down to the next player he could afford on his watch list. And there are players at almost every price bracket now that are purchasable. So I don't think it's such a concern for me now. The volatility in price, I'm not as aggressively defending my squad value as I have in previous seasons. Like Perez going yesterday, because I didn't really have a clear idea on whether I wanted Martial or Maddison or to roll over for another week, I was happy to let it go. Last year I might have actually forced the transfer to try and protect that 0.1 in value. So I don't feel like I'm protecting value as much as I have in previous
You're
seasons.
not going to stop them all.
No, you can't, right? Everyone's going to take a hit somewhere along the line in terms of value.
I think for me as well, carrying 2 free transfers into this week, I've fixed 2 of 3 issues that I really felt like I had. A lot of the listeners all think I've got a massive issue defensively with Liverpool, but I don't believe I do at the moment.
Yeah, that will figure itself out, I think, over the next couple of weeks. I like the idea of rolling again, because if I do want to move to Lucas Dean, who apparently has trained with Everton and so should be available, means I can downgrade one of my Liverpool players to him and still have more money in the bank at this point. So interesting options still available. I think that's why I'm not panicking about value, because there are so many options available at the moment, which helps.
And more will emerge.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, there were some players dropping in prices who are beginning, just by them dropping, are beginning to become attractive.
Yeah.
Like, I was obviously talking to Mig on the podcast yesterday about what the future holds for Zaha. He's had that drop now to 6.9. And when the prices come out, he was in everyone's team at 7, right?
Yeah.
So we think that in the next couple of weeks, he might end up going back up front. And he might be like 6.7, 6.8 by then. And admittedly, he'll be gettable.
Yeah.
But I still think there's so much information to be gathered.
Yes, there is indeed. Where should we start? North v South?
Yeah,
I feel like I want to talk about North v South.
What, because you're kicking my ass, that's why you want to talk about it.
Well, it was another comfortable victory. So we need to try and spice this up. I think the difference between us now is, where are we looking? I'm on 121 plus for 24 points in 2 game weeks.
24 points.
Yeah.
That's just one good fucking captain hit.
And that's with Paul Pogba pulling out a fucking donut last week with a big fat 0 for missing that penalty.
No, it's all right. Listen, this is a challenge, mate. Let's bring this shit on.
I haven't had a single goal from my strike force so far. It was Jota, Chris Wood and Vardy. So yeah, Kevin De Bruyne and Raheem Sterling and Lucas Dean and Henderson pulled it out of the bag from last week with 50 points. This week I'm going to be moving on Chris Wood. I don't know who I'm going to bring in, probably Barnesy. But yeah, I'm probably going to be moving on.
You can have Timu Pukki.
Oh yeah, true.
Timu Pukki, Norwich does fall into the northern category. I know they're not a northern team.
Yes.
So Suj has got Norwich, Wolves, Leicester, and the northern teams. I've got Villa and all the south. That's how we split it.
Exactly. Are you planning on making any changes to your softies?
I made them very early in the week.
Oh, okay. 2 transfers.
Yeah, just to catch a couple of price things, just to give me. I need to think a little bit out of the box. I've taken a gamble on a couple. I've left a shitload in the bank.
Yeah.
So I had 2 threes. I've sold Vertonghen for Lewis Dunk.
Yeah.
home to Southampton tomorrow. And I've sold Pepe for Mason Mount. And I'm leaving a shit ton of money in the
I was
bank.
going to say like probably, 3 million?
Probably to make decision rounds, Son is obviously potentially going to be pretty pivotal to me. Just need to see where he's lining up and stuff. And I wouldn't be in a rush to do it before game week 4 away to Arsenal. But I'd like to, if I can, roll again and then hammer into some players in game week 5. Because the biggest problem I have with this Southern team is there is not a single good defensive option. So this week I'm going to line up with Heaton in goal is fine. And fixture-wise, these all look okay. A back three of Zuma at Norwich if he plays, Cathcart at home to West Ham, Dunk at home to Southampton. But we've got no trust in those 3 teams to be keeping a clean sheet. Midfield of Pedro, Mount, Lucas Moura, Fraser. I'm holding on to him on Wilson in this. Aubameyang and Captain Kane up front. I've got Issa Diop as first sub.
Yeah, I have slightly better defensive options. Robertson, Alexander-Arnold and Dean, with Henderson sitting behind them.
Great.
Sterling, De Bruyne, Pogba, behind
Great.
Jota, Vardy and another striker, which I'll probably make the move on. And I've got Perez as well. Then Donker can come in. Grant Hanley, luckily, was on the bench in game week 1 when he got his minus points. But yeah.
Who will be your captain this week?
It's going to be either Raheem Sterling or Kevin De Bruyne. Raheem Sterling's the obvious choice. Kevin De Bruyne's slightly outside the box because obviously he picks up more of the assists and the goals. But, with a 24-point lead, I can have a bit of fun. So let's see. You've got the king option in captaincy this week with Harry Kane. The premium best captaincy option without a doubt. It's got to be Harry Kane.
Yeah, I would say Sterling's probably second to that.
Yeah, not by much though.
Well, yeah, not by much.
Really tear it up
I wouldn't overthink that and just captain Sterling, mate. The highest ceiling, mate. That's what you should do with a captain, is the one that's got the highest ceiling.
The differential team, the team that James and I have together, which we can only pick players with less than 10% ownership. And if they cross over 20%, we have to sell them.
We have an overall rank of 4 million. But don't worry, we're going to fix this shit.
Well, and the crazy thing is, for 2 weeks in a row, we've hit amazing captaincy points. We had Origi pulled in 24 in game week 1. Lacazette pulled in 16 in game week 2.
Yeah, except we captains Richarlison.
Oh, I'm looking at the differential team, and we definitely have the captain's armband on.
Oh, did we?
Lacazette, 16 points.
Oh, that's an error. That's a touch.
Yeah, I thought we agreed to captain Richarlison.
We did.
I thought you might have changed it last minute yourself.
Oh, no. I sent a tweet out that got a lot of likes saying I was captaining Richarlison.
Yeah. Imagine the team that had Lacazette as captain and Martial, and still only scored 35 points, because literally it's the back line of Heaton, Doherty, Laporte and Pepe and Origi were all 1-pointers. So 5 1-pointers just really does not help in this differential team.
No, it's tough. But I feel like the team looks okay. I don't think it looks that bad.
No.
So we've got 1 free. Do we want to roll it, or there's 2 names I'd throw out there to you to consider to bring in?
Throw them out.
One I've already mentioned is Heung-min Son.
Yeah. You think he's going to walk straight in?
I think so, probably. I think we would captain Martial in this team this weekend.
Yes. Home to
My
Palace.
instinct is just to leave Pepe out this week and not rush it, is my instinct.
I really think Pepe is a good option this week. I think this will be the first week potentially that Arsenal start with the front 3 of Lacazette, Aubameyang and Pepe. I think he'll be charging at the Liverpool defence, and they won't be used to people running at them in the way that he runs at them. So I feel like Pepe's a good option, but having had Lundstrom on the bench last week for 14 points, I think he should never be dropped to the bench for any FPL team ever again.
John Lundstrom's up to 15% ownership.
Oh, he's going to be leaving soon.
We might have to bin him off soon. It's a good job we never got Pookie in, because we'd have to sell him already as well.
True. Are you talking about potentially playing Allaire ahead of Pepe and rolling the transfer?
Yes. The other name I wanted to mention was Jamie Vardy. Mm-hmm. Jamie Vardy's ownership now is down to, I will tell you, it's about 8%, 7.9% ownership, Jamie Vardy. And I feel like really he should be in this team. Now, I'm not in a panic to do it. They've got Sheffield United away this weekend, Bournemouth at home next week, and then I think it's United game week 5 and Spurs game week 6. So I don't feel it's desperate, but also Vardy is someone that you don't need to worry too much about around the fixtures.
Yeah.
I don't know. Should we be throwing him in here, mate?
Who would you take out? Origi? Do we have the
Well,
money?
financially, it would have to be Lacazette.
Lacazette. They've got, apart from this Liverpool game, Arsenal do have good fixtures. Spurs away. I don't think we should move away from Lacazette. Those run of fixtures from the Manchester United fixture looks too good. It looks really good.
It's a while off, but with differentials, need to hit it early. And my feeling is with Vardy that he will need one good week and he'll smash up in ownership. Whereas Lacazette's ownership is 3.5%.
It's going to stay steady.
It's not going to be an issue to go back to him.
No, he's also unlikely to drop in price, Lacazette. I think most people will potentially hold him if they...
And then I think if we go Jamie Vardy as well, he becomes captainable for this weekend. There's actually an argument, whereas at the moment I just go... Well, we're probably going Martial at home to Palace.
I would still take Martial at home to Palace as a captaincy option over Jamie Vardy, but I don't mind changing Lacazette to Vardy.
We can afford it. We've got 0.4 in the bank. He's obviously cheaper as well anyway.
Yeah, let's go Lacazette to Vardy.
Right.
Keep the armband on Martial. Drop Pepe, bring in that there.
We'll lock it in. We'll wait for team news to be on the safe side. But you still want to keep Martial captain?
I do. I think home to Palace...
So I'd set it up like this then. Back four: Loris, Doherty, Stones, Zuma, Laporte. Obviously, there's a big doubt about Stones and Zuma.
Yeah.
We know Rudiger's close, could not play possibly. Midfield four of Richarlison, Tielemans, Pogba, Captain Martial. Up front, Allaire and Vardy. Subs: Lundstrom, Origi, Pepe.
But Pepe first sub, surely.
Why?
Because I think he can get more returns than the others.
I would be surprised if he starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if he does, I would be surprised if he played more than sort of 65 minutes, which makes him a real danger to a 1-pointer either way.
And Lundstrom, clean sheet against Leicester.
I would put Lundstrom as first sub there with the anticipation that he's going to come into that team for either Stones or Zuma.
I always prefer attacking options up front, but it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another at this point. You can make a case for either or.
All right, if one of them was to miss out at the back, I think that's Lundstrom or Pepe. Why are we even having this argument? Lundstrom or Pepe first sub?
Yeah, that's true. Whichever you want to go with.
I think the more sensible idea is Lundstrom against all logic.
Yeah, they played well last week, so can't argue with that.
All right, let's go with that.
Done.
Yeah. How did the dead team get on?
Dead team is ticking along slow and steady, I would say. I don't think we're particularly doing well, but we're not particularly doing badly either. At the moment, obviously, with the armband on Salah, it's everybody that hasn't put the armband on Salah, so put it on Sterling that's doing better than we are. But yeah, we need Salah returns, really.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We need Salah returns.
I wish we hadn't gone for him for this.
As the captain.
Yeah, I think it was regrets last year that we
didn't pick the safe option. But we did get our fingers burnt.
really think there is a chance that Mane will outscore him this season. I really believe that's becoming a possibility.
But we still got Jota, Vardy, Jay Adams hasn't really kicked in yet. Sigurdsson hasn't even kicked in yet. So the double Liverpool defence with Laporte, Ryan at the back. I still feel the
one good thing we've got with this at the moment is they're all fit.
Yeah,
and they're all playing
so far.
They're all playing. None of them. We haven't got anyone there. We've suddenly gone, oh shit, they're unexpectedly not in the team. No. We've got 14 starters there and a backup goalkeeper. So all right, it's not the worst.
No, just having a look at the person who is top of who got the assist Zombie League, and they have the armband on Sterling and Salah in the team, and Kane.
Kane and Pookie up front.
And Pookie and Ceballos and Luka Dean.
We ain't beating that team, mate.
It's going to be big.
Yeah, but look at the bench.
Wickham, Kelly and Hanley.
So that might become a problem further down the line, right?
Yeah,
he's got Dale Stevens in his starting team as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Good team, though.
Yeah, same back three as us. Very similar back three to us. Apart from Laporte.
Any final minute advice for the people?
If in doubt, do nothing. Is my
Agreed.
best final minute advice. If in doubt, do nothing. The price rises and drops are volatile. As much as I'm looking at players in my squad that have dropped in price, thinking, "Oh dear," I'm seeing other players that have dropped in price that I'm thinking, "Oh, that's nice. That I can pick him up a little bit cheaper." Allaire being one of them, Fraser being one of them.
Vardy, Sigurdsson, Zaha, people
So
who no one are
many.
talking about right now,
Yeah.
and it might swing the other
All
way.
taking drops. So for every one that is dropping that's irritating, there's one that's dropping that actually is opening my eyes. So just keep it slow and steady. It's literally been 2 game weeks, so another couple of game weeks before I start making any big moves, I think.
Yeah, my immediate thought is that my transfer for game week 4 will be to move someone on from Lucas Moura. But it might be a case that if I'm happy with the value on it, that I'll just roll through. It's nice to come out the international break with 2, if you can.
Yes, for sure. Or go into the international break or come out of the
Come out of it on the other side with 2, because there's so many things that can happen over that time. People's fitness will change massively,
Yeah.
whether they're playing for, take like a Lo Celso at Spurs. He's going to get a couple of games for Argentina. It might have an impact on whether he's going to be starting, say, against Palace in game week 5. And there's others who are obviously building up fitness, who that break will do them the world of good.
Sure.
And of course, there'll be injuries at the internationals. There always is.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Let's leave it at that then. The final plan you guys have got now is 9 o'clock. So that's 10 hours.
You lot have got about, depending on when this goes out, about 24 hours to get your ticket registered for Planet FPL
Yes,
Live
live to
tomorrow
come and join
in
us.
Holborn. There are some crazy fucking people in this community
They really
who are travelling a long way to come to this gig. Come and meet them.
Be a good laugh. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to get drunk, mate.
Especially now that Troy Deeney can't play.
Oh, yeah.
That's off the table. Troy
I
Deeney
saw you,
scoring.
Billy Big Bollocks, yesterday, replying to
scoring
someone, and listen to the way you responded as well. He weren't going to score anyway, bro. What the fuck?
There we go. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a full array of all of the shows that we put out for you. The regular podcast, Tot and Ham, where we talk about Tottenham and West Ham. Clash of the Correspondents next week. Who do we have on?
We've got Sean at Spirit Blues and Bradley Parker at Parker_Bradley, our Wolves
Everton
correspondent,
Wolves
Everton
next
Wolves.
week, eh?
And that's going to be a really good one because they've got similar expectations this season, really.
They do. I've been impressed with Everton so far. 2 clean sheets. Wolves are doing bits in Europe, which I'm really enjoying. We should both be having players from their teams. How many do you own from both of those 2?
None.
Me neither. So we need to sort that out. I've got Den Donker bench.
Oh, yeah, I got Den Donker, yeah.
So yeah, we've got that, as well as we'll be looking at our Sky teams, all the usual fun and
Yeah.
games. But do stay tuned. Enjoy. Good luck with your game week 3. Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.